This is the moment when ABC News realizes that Trump has won the election again, 2024. This is the exact moment you would think they're announcing a funeral the way they look. I mean, it's unbelievable how, well, it's not unbelievable, it's actually very believable how biased they are. But this is the moment when they realize that their horror is true and he has won. So enjoy this. Make sure you subscribe for future videos about the Trump presidency and the epic election win. Thank you.
This is an ABC News election update. Now reporting, David Muir.
Good morning. It's now 5:35 here in the East. We are allowing all of our stations across the country to join us now with the breaking news. We are projecting at this hour the 47th president of the United States, Donald Trump, will be elected to return to the White House. Not consecutive terms. We mentioned a moment ago as we were on our air with our coverage, the first since Grover Cleveland to serve non-consecutive presidential terms. Donald Trump returning to the White House as the 47th president of the United States. He does so with Wisconsin now in his win column. Of course, there are a number of states on the map that still look pretty favorable for Donald Trump tonight, but Wisconsin was the state that put him over the map, getting him to 279 at this point to Kamala Harris's 219 electoral votes. I'm going to quickly rejoin the team here so that the entire network can hear a little bit of what we're our early analysis. And John, as you and I have been saying all night long, this is an extraordinary political comeback. You say we've never seen anything like it.
Look, the greatest political comeback in American history and a victory unlike any that Donald Trump has ever seen, because not only does he win what appears to be a decisive electoral college victory, it seems like he is on the verge of winning the popular vote as well. So he comes back to the White House. Remarkable when you consider the way he left the White House in January of 2021. He comes back to the White House with a mandate. The majority of the American people, it seems, ultimately, when all the votes are counted, will be saying they want Donald Trump to be president. Now, that said, David, he faces the challenge of uniting a deeply divided country. And the nearly half the country that voted against him, many of them see him as not somebody that they simply didn't want in the White House, but see him as a threat. So now the question is, how does he convince those people that he can be a president for all Americans, including those who didn't vote for him?
You're absolutely right, John.
There's certainly going to be a lot of discussions and deep soul searching, I think, within the Democratic Party about how this all unfolded, and a lot of deep questions for the president about the way he went out of this race, the timing of this. Could the outcome have been different if Democrats had had time for a primary, for instance? But Kamala Harris, in those 107 days, really cast herself as the change candidate.
Guys, good morning. I would say good morning, but we never actually said good night. We just projected this race. It was a historic run for president, and now a historic return to the White House after a 2-year-long campaign. Donald Trump, a convicted felon who survived 2 assassination attempts, making a remarkable comeback to become the next president of the United States. So Trump is now the first former president to return to the White House in more than 130 years, and the first convicted felon to be elected, also the oldest. And guys, while he was speaking, making that address last night, he made no mention of Vice President Kamala Harris.
John, you said it on our air last night, the greatest comeback in American political history.
Well, when you consider the way he left office, the impeachments, the indictments that came later, the convictions, this was a sweeping victory. He looks like he will be the first president in 2 decades to win the popular vote. He is likely to sweep all of the battleground states. And not just that, he had significant gains in deep blue territory, blue states, big cities, cities like Chicago. But I have to say, now there's an immense challenge. First, for Donald Trump. He wakes up this morning in a country where a significant segment of the population fears what happened last night, fears what he will do. He needs to find a way to do what he promised he would do at the convention, to be a president for all Americans. What does he say to those that are deeply disturbed by what happened and fear what he will do? But there is also in that a challenge to the Democrats. Kamala Harris, what does she say today? She called him a fascist. And now she must give a concession speech. How does Joe Biden handle this, given how just how brutally tough this campaign was. This will be a challenge, for all sides, to say the least.